What's going on? Welcome to another video. Today, I'll do something different. So, I've got my bike back. This is my trusty Royal Enfield Himalayan. She's a 2021 model. I think it's Series 4. I'm not sure, 100% sure what they call it, but this is the bike that kickstarted all my adventure riding excitement. So I was originally riding just a street bike just to commute around the city, and I started doing a few longer trips on it, and it got pretty uncomfortable. So I needed something different. So Mark from Biker Bits, I was watching his channel and got me inspired to buy one of these. So it's 24 horsepower, 411cc, air-cooled engine, just with a little oil cooler to cool the oil. She's no powerhouse, she's got nothing special. It's got ABS and that's about it. Yeah, so this bike here, I did a fairly long trip on it for over a week. Did the Great Ocean Road to Adelaide and a few adventures as well. So what I'm going to do is every Thursday for the next few weeks, I'm going to post my videos about my Himalayan. I've got a build video and I've got a full series of my journey. So I'll show you around this bike and show you what's going on. So backstory: this is the motorbike that I was in a collision with where I broke my arm. So we are missing a couple of parts. We need a peg for this side. Need to put the exhaust back on. I took it off and polished it up. There's a couple of little things I need to do before I get it back on the road. But she's a sweet bike. So actually, instead of showing what I've done to it, I'll jump straight into my build video. So enjoy the next few videos in relation to my Himalayan. If you've got any questions, chuck them underneath and I'll happily answer what I can. If there's anything else you want to know about the bike, let me know. Once it is fully back on the road and ready to go, it will be up for sale. I just don't have the room for two bikes at the moment, and I'm in love with my CF Moto. So CF Moto is definitely the bike of choice at the moment. It's comfortable, it's fast, you can sit on the speed limit nice and easy. This one here, she struggles after you get past 100. So that's my bike of choice at the moment. So alright, enjoy the next few videos, and yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions, let me know. Welcome to a video about my 2021 Himalayan. It's a Royal Enfield Himalayan. I think it's a Euro 5 model. Picked up yesterday, second hand from Essendon Motorcycles and Mowers. They've been really good over the last few days getting this to me. Today I'm going to do a few modifications that I've got. I've got a few things that I want to do. A few modifications. I want to add some lights to the front, some new handlebars, some new heated grips. I'll go over those in a second. The bike is how I got it, exactly how I got it from the dealership, is how you see it. It came with the, I got the Gimbal racks put on it, the bash bars. It came with the pannier racks, and it also came with these Ergio side bags. Apart from that, I've only ridden it 40 k's home yesterday, living up in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, so it was a good trip. It's a bit more comfortable than my sports bike that I've got over there. Apart from that, I'll show you the parts that I've got to put on it. So at the moment, these are the parts that I have to put on it. I've got these rental bars. The stock bars can get damaged easily if it tips over. I found these on Marketplace for a pretty decent price, so I picked them up. Thought I'd just change them over straight away when I do my heated grips. Also got a little 7-inch light bar that I want to put under the headlight. I do a lot of commuting at night, and being up in the scrub in the eastern suburbs, light is one thing that I want. So I've got a little 7-inch light bar. To go along with the 7-inch light bar, I've also got these little side lights. So little couple inch side lights. I think they're 10 watt each, 20 watt thing. So I've got 2 of those for the side. Upgraded headlight. I was going to go with a steady 7-inch light, but in the end I decided to pick up a cheapie off eBay and see how we go. This has the amber halo and the white halo. I'll only be using the white halo, so I'll go through the install with that. Apart from that, I've got a wiring harness that I've got to modify to fit the motorbike, a quick wiring fuse box. So this is just a fuse box that goes to positive and negative on the battery, and a accessory switch. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 outputs. So I'm going to have heated grip, USB charger, one for the lights, and a spare one for now. If I need to add anything in the future. Makes it easy, don't have to run heaps of stuff off the battery terminals, don't have to run multiple fuses. I can just tuck this away in the bike somewhere and that should be good. And my heated grips, I'll grab them. So these are my heated grips. That's your left side, right side. They are the Whites brand. So they've got one button, 5 different modes. They get up to 80 degrees and they are bloody good. I've used them on my daily commute during these colder days on my other bike. I've just taken off to put onto the new Himalayan. So first things first, I reckon I'll do the bars first. I'll get the bars sorted and that way I can concentrate on everything else at the moment. I'll grab my GoPro and I'll do a run around of the bike and show you what's on it at the moment, and we'll go from there. So looking at the bike at the moment, like I said, got these OGO side bags on there. I'll be taking these stickers off. I'm not a sticker fan. I'm not a fan of these plate surrounds either, so I'll take that off as well. Still got the stock exhaust on it. Like I said, it's got the Givi crash bars coming up to the front here. It does have a set of bark busters with the VPS covers. Stock headlight. I'm hoping to mount those little ones, those little lights here. Well, once I get around to doing that, I'll see how that pans out for me. Coming around to the front, we've got a little USB port here. I actually have a different USB port that's on the way, so once I get that installed, I'll get rid of this one and I'll do my own wiring, so I know it's all good and proper. Like I said, I'm going to start on the bars. Going to get rid of these bark busters, take them off, and get these bars off. So hopefully that shouldn't be too hard, and see how we go. Alright, first things first, we'll start with these bark busters. I think that'll be the best thing to get off first. Before I go any further, I might actually grab a towel to protect this. I'll be back. Alright, got myself a towel just to protect the tank a bit, just in case I do slip. One issue I've just ran into though is these bars have a screw in, whereas my new bars don't. So these new bars don't have a screw in there. Editing Drew just chiming in here. If you buy the bark buster kit itself, it actually comes with the proper mounts for the handlebar. Because I bought this bike secondhand, I don't actually have those mounts, so I had to actually do this a different way. Do with that when it comes to it. let's get these bars changed over. I'll just crack these and I'll get the power tools onto them. Alright, so for the new bars, I'll just do it in reverse. So, yeah, that's not going to get over the knurling. So I've just discovered a problem. This bar is actually a lot thicker than that. So that's not actually going to work. So these bars are out of the question. Trying to put the bars back on. That's a bit annoying. Oh well. Alright, so what I've found is I'll put it up, I'll take a screenshot and I'll put it up online now on the screen for you. But these bars here, X-Tech is what they recommend for the Himalayan. They're 60 bucks from Motorcycle Accessory Superstore. I might just go and grab them today. So what I'll do is I might continue on getting the wiring done and just leave this hanging over like that for now. But we'll wait and see on the bars because I do want to get the bars done while I've got it all off already. So I've taken my seat off. This is obviously the wiring for the USB port that's been installed. But what I do plan on doing is, this is a document holder. I've taken the cover off already, which is this here. That sits in there like that. I'm hoping there is enough room for me to sit that in there. And I can run the wires out along here. I might just cut a bit of plastic off there so it fits. But I'm not sure if it's going to fit with the cover on. If not, I'll have to leave the cover off and go from there. So we'll just test this now. Yeah. Alright, as I thought, it's going to be too thick to sit in there. So what I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to actually mount it in here. But not with this cover on. Obviously I'm just going to leave that cover off, mount that up there like that, and I'll cut a couple of notches in here for the wires to run out. But first of all, I might take the fuel tank off so I can get good access to everything under here and to the front that I want to run the wires to. So taking the fuel tank off, you've got this blue plug to undo. You've got a couple of breather hoses, which is a overflow and a breather hose, I believe. I'm not sure where that one goes. You also got a power plug on this side and the fuel line on this side to undo. Going back to why I like to do my own wiring, the USB adapters connected to an SAE plug like this, which I don't like because that's just another failure point. And it's also connected directly to the battery. It does have a fuse on it, which is a 7.5, which is adequate, but I don't like the fact that it's not switched to an accessory, so it's not on when the bike's not on, just so it doesn't drain batteries. So I'll take this out and I'll redo the wiring again with myself. I'll run a completely new loom through here for the new lights, new power adapter and the heated grips. So first things first, we'll continue trying to install this. So I've completely disconnected the battery and I'm just sticking the piece of rag under there just so the positive terminal doesn't touch. I've moved the negative terminal way out of the way, but before doing any wiring, just to be safe, always disconnect your battery and move everything out of the way. So what I'm going to do now is find a knife of some sort. This will work. Alright. Like I said, I'm going to cut some of this plastic off here just so I can make these cables fit nice and neat. So that's going to mount there. I sort of want to cut it here. And just because it's plastic, it needs a little knife. It doesn't really need too much. What I've done here is I've just got a knife, just cut a one slot there for this power cable to run through, and I'll cut another slot here for my bigger loom to run through when I install that, which is going to be from this. So these power cables, I'm going to put, you know, obviously positive, negative. I'm going to trim this back, put actual ring terminals on here, so there's no chance of it ever coming off. And just shorten the cable so there's no excessive amount of cable lying around. This is your standard fuse box in here. I do need to get an accessory to trigger it, which I may do from the brake light, which I believe is going to be one of these two up here, but I'll double check that in a second. So it's the white, yellow, black, which I believe is down in here somewhere. But I'll find the accessory wire afterwards. For this, you just got two terminals on the side here, which you push in, and there's your fuses. So it comes standard with 5 amp fuses because it's a. But yeah, you can change it to whatever you want, and there's your outputs there. It also does have LEDs to tell you the status of the lights. So this box comes with a big piece of 3M double-sided tape. And what I'm going to do is stick it just in there. I just realised though that I don't want to stick it all the way to the end because I won't be able to get my finger in there to get the cover off. So I want to give myself a bit of room. Stick that in there like that. Alright, so I've cut my cables down to about the length that I need them, and I'll just go ahead and trim a bit of this off. And I've got ring terminals, but I don't think these are going to be the right size. No, they'll fit perfect. Cool. And you get your crimpers out. Down, make sure it's not going to come off. Second one on. Crimp it down, make sure she's not going to come off. For the accessory wire, I'm going to try tap into somewhere down here. I believe one of these is a I have seen people tap the accessory brake wire way up the top here, but I don't really want to have to run a wire all the way up the top. If I can get away with just tapping in down here and making it nice and neat, I would much rather that. Alright, so what we're looking for here is which one is the 12 volt. Middle one. So it is the middle, top middle, which is the yellow and silver. Alright, so I've got my, what I've done is I've just split the wires, wrapped it around it, and yeah, it's an old crappy soldering iron, but it works. Make sure we get good penetration in there. Move the soldering iron out of the way so I don't burn myself. Alright, so what we can do now is give it a test run, make sure it's working. Alright, that's all connected. I left that a little bit too long still, that should be fine. So once we connect this, those relays should turn on. Push it in there. There we go. So turn the bike on and we've got light up there. I'll just double check that you can see. There we go. So as you can see, we've got the 4 lights on. I can take the cover off. You've got your 4 fuses and there's your outlets there. So that's on there solid as a rock. So turn it off. I'll get all this wrapped up and then we'll get on to the next step. So with a bit of mucking around, I did finally get this sorted. Got that in there. I got this braided stuff on and shrunk down. Just gotta be careful. I did put a bit too much heat on it there and it burnt through. What I'm gonna do now is grab a zip tie and just cable tie this down here. I'll put a hole in the plastic just to keep it a bit steady, just so it doesn't put any pressure from vibrations and that on this box here. I just don't know how strong these are, so I'm not going to actually recommend this box yet. It does say it's a motorcycle fuse box, but we'll see how it goes for adventure riding. I've just got the so those two. I don't think there's anything else I actually need to put in there because the lights are going to be actually on a separate separate run because it's going to pull too many amps through there, I'd say. So I'd just rather run it through separately. So what I'll do is I'll go up the front of the bike and start work up there once I get this wiring up here sorted. Alright, so to remove the headlight, you just got 2 screws on the outside here. It's 1 screw. And the 2nd screw. The headlight just pops out. Behind here you've got the H4 connector and you've also got the connector for the Parker bulb, which is this little red one here. There you go, so it's positive negative for the Parker. There's also these clips in here which hold the headlight into the mount. So what we'll do is we'll grab the new one and put it into the mount here. Alright, so I've got both lights in front of me. As you can see, there's these clips in here. We want to remove them. So to get them out, you just put a screwdriver. So we've got one out. So just put a screwdriver under them and sort of just peel them up a bit. They are in there pretty solid. Just to cut in over the top here, it was a bit of a fiddly job to remove these clips. At some point I had to use 2 screwdrivers to try leaving them out, but showing you in the video was a bit hard to do while undoing them. So I've just gone ahead and for simplicity just taken them all out, and I'll cut back to you when it's out. There we go. So you can see, this here is the top, this here is the bottom. So we got 4 clips out of there. Want to get the new light. It's got the ADR compliance and stuff written on the top, and that's what you want at the top. So you want to align that with the top and just try to get in as best as possible. Let's take this off. I didn't want to take that off yet, but I've got to. So fits in nice. What I'm going to do is, just to protect it while I'm working on it, stick that back on. Make sure that we are top dead center. There's actually a little line at the top here which helps you there. Alright, that's sitting better. I've got this line lined up at the top there, and then yeah, the front lined up perfectly. This is the H4 clip. It's just the same as that. What I'm going to do with this is I might actually cut this off and re-solder, put a clip onto it. Maybe unplug one of these. Let me sort that out. What I'm going to do is just going to cut the end off the tag over there and just slip that on it and crimp that down on it. So what I'm going to do here is snip the positive cable there. I'll just use these to shred it back. I shouldn't, but I'm going to. Stick that down on there. Crimp that onto there, just like that. So that's all good. Plug the white one in, because I believe that is the right one. There we go. So that is working. And if we turn our high beams on, yep, high beam works. High beam works, and the high beam to on and off, and the flash. That's all sorted there. But what I might do is, I might run a wire in here to tap into it. So I just need to know which one's a high beam. There's 2 cables in here. So that's low beam. This one here should be a high beam. Yep, so when I push the flasher, when I turn the switch on, that's high beam. So that is this one here. So I'm going to do the same as I did with the other one, is just strip it back. Alright, so it was a bit hard to show you before, but I just soldered the red wire onto the high beam, so it triggers a relay, which then triggers the spotlights to come on. So I've got that in there, that in there. Just got to tuck that up behind there. Make sure we get this mounted up in there. Make sure she all closes properly. Get the screws back in it. So turn it on, low beam's working, high beam's working. Oh no. That's also triggering the relay. So what I'm going to show here is the wiring harness. I've hooked up the wiring harness. This is the wires that go to the spotlights. I've put the DT plugs in the area that I need them, and now I've shortened this harness. What I'm about to do here is connect the positive and negative terminals that trigger the spotlights to turn on. That white wire you see there is the trigger wire. That comes from the switch, which turns the relay on and off with the high beams. Alright, so I've got these pretty well mounted now. I'm hoping that doesn't interfere with the seat. We'll see. Like I said, I'm going to cut these tabs off here. Before I put the fuel tank back on, I'm going to mount the lights. Let's get the bike turned around again. Oops. Alright, so that's one light is installed. I thought I had the camera recording, but I didn't. So now just to get the other one installed. So what I did to mount these lights is I got a piece of flat bar from Bunnings, which is 40mm wide by 4mm thick. I made a template out of cardboard on one side and then just mirrored it for the other side. I've cut out the sides I didn't need. I just used an angle grinder so it's not very neat, and then I've drilled in the holes where I need them. Just under that Royal Enfield badge there is 4, I think they are 6mm screws. Screw holes, and you can just screw straight into that. I used 2 of them. They are full of powder coat, so when you put your screw in there you do need to tighten them up a fair bit and loosen up that powder coating. At this stage I didn't have the right bolts. I just had a couple of Allen key heads, so I just mounted them temporarily until I went down to Bunnings and got some proper bolts for it. So I know that's not going to be straight yet, but we get the idea. So front light on, high beams. Got to plug this one in. There we go. See how that goes. So I finally got handlebars. I went with this X-Tech brand. I got the low mount ones. Hopefully they go alright, but they actually fit. So they should be pretty similar to what was on there already, but they're just going to be a bit stronger than the originals. So now, because it's been all day since I put it on, I actually need to figure out. Because it's been all day since I took them off, I've got to figure out how to put them all back on. I do know I need to drill some holes, so let's figure that out. Alright, I think I can see where I'm going to drill it. I just need to get my paint pen out and make a mark. So while doing this, you have to have a look underneath those black mounts. There's 2 pins. They're about a 5mm hole. You got to do a bit of fiddling around and adjustment, make sure your grip is in the right spot, your mirror's in the right spot, and then mark about where you want it. So what I'm doing here is just marking it with my paint pen, and then I'm going to get the drill ready to drill the hole, starting with a smaller bit, then go into a larger bit. So because it is such a awkward hole to drill, I'm going to start off with a very small drill bit so I don't get the movement on the bar. Alright, so I've got one side done. Now to do the other side should be just as simple. Famous last words. I haven't put the bike busters on just yet. I'll figure that out afterwards, but I'll get the handlebars on first. That's my main priority at the moment. Just roughly do it where I think it should go for now. So for this part here, I was actually blocking the camera the whole way, so you couldn't really see too much what I was doing. It's a bit fiddly to get it in the right spot. You just got to make sure you get that little tab that drills into your handlebars in the right spot. Drill the hole, 5mm hole, and it all sits perfectly. Here I'm just putting everything back together and about to wire up all the heated grips. Alright, that's done. I'll just plug this back in where it belongs. And just got to run the wiring for the heated grips now. So this part here, I'm just fixing up the wiring, getting everything put back into place, into the right spot where it should be. Wiring's a bit fiddly, as it was a wiring harness. Looking back on it, I probably should have ran my own wiring, but I made this work all right. So I'm about to finish up the wiring here, and then I'll move on to the next part where I get a few more parts to install. Alright, as you may have noticed, day is very quickly turning into night. Got all the bars back and working again. I had a real issue trying to get these bike busters on again. I had to really change the way they were configured, move some mirrors and that around and take them off and get them all repositioned, but I think I've got it all positioned properly now. So the other thing I bought are these, disregard the hands, they are filthy, these blanking plates off eBay. I think they're like 10 bucks. I'll put the screenshot up now from where I got it from and how much. I went and bought black bolts to suit, so everything was black rather than having a silver bolt through a black blanking cap. I thought that would be a bit odd, so all it does, sits in here. Got a 10mm nylock on the back. So the next box that I've got to install is a bash guard. This is off eBay again. Again, I'll stick up the listing in front where I'll unbox it, where I got it from, how much it was. Replaces the standard alloy one at the bottom. This one's alloy as well, but it's just a bit thicker. And it's black. Comes with some mounting hardware. There we go, it's actually pretty solid. So, see how this goes. I think there's only 6 bolts that hold it in. 2 on each side, 2 on the front. Not sure about the mounting hardware, but we'll see how that goes. Let's get onto it. So this install was a bit fiddly. There's 6 bolts altogether to hold the bash plate in. There's 2 at the front here, which you can see here, and 2 on either side. The side that you're looking at with the exhaust is pretty fiddly. You actually do need to get a spanner in there. There's also a couple of spacers that you need to use, and that is a real pain in the ass to try get if you don't have 4 hands. So I also had to use a car jack just to jack it up a little bit off the ground, or just to jack it up to get those bolts to align. But in the end we got there. It probably took me about half an hour. So this clip here didn't record audio for some reason. So this is the GPS mount. So I've just pulled out the mounting bar, and there's the 2 sidebars. This GPS mount actually mounts above your speedo cluster there, and allows you to mount GPS, phones, chargers, whatever you want. I'll put a quick clip in how it looks now. I did modify it a little bit from when I first installed this. What I've done is I've put in a USB charger that I bought off eBay, which has a USB-C and a Type A USB. Also has a voltmeter, so it's got a fast charge USB-C, fast charge USB-A, and a voltmeter with an on-off power switch. So if you don't want it on, you can turn it off. I've also mounted my temperature sender up there as well for the bike, because the actual motorbike temperature sender is mounted under the seat above the engine. So once you're riding, it's actually pulling temperature from above the engine bay. So I've actually moved it to above, up to my dash cluster here, so it gives me more accurate outside air temperature reading. So I'll go ahead and install this and see you shortly. So to mount the GPS bar, first you put it together. I actually used a bit of Loctite just to keep those bolts in there. Then you want to undo one side of the windshield, which is just 2 little Allen key head screws, and then you want to put the GPS mount in. I actually did find it easier to put it together while it was together, unlike I did it here. So what you want to do, there's 2 rubber mounts that have a bolt in them, and I found it easier to work your way from the furthest away bolt to the rider towards the rider. It goes the frame, then a GPS mount, then I went a plastic washer, and then I went a windshield, then another plastic washer, and then the bolt. Here I'm showing the mount, how it is mounted now with the quad lock. So this is my first time putting the quad lock on the GPS mount, so it's not in the correct position. I just chucked it straight up there. As you've seen earlier, I have changed it a bit now. I've added a charging port and stuff onto it. But yeah, it's I've used this mount for 2,500 km trip to Adelaide and back without an issue at all. If you are going to get a quad lock mount, make sure you get the vibration dampener as seen in this video, that little tri-star thing that mounts onto the back, because it will save your camera. In the optical image stabilization on the camera will be destroyed by vibrations from any motorcycle, so keep that in mind if you're mounting a camera or a phone to a bike.